And a good midday Tuesday to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster, looking at downtown Burlington, Church Street Marketplace. A little bit of snow starting to move in and starting to accumulate on area roads. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the current storm system working across the region. Better us than them. This is down, of course, in the I-95 corridor region, generally south of I-95 or in that vicinity. And you're seeing a mixed sort of Neapolitan stripes here of mixed freezing rain, some sleet, and some heavier snows on the northern edges of that area here. This is going to be tracking closer to southern parts of Vermont and unload a little heavier snow in this particular area here. However, upstream, as we can see here, things are starting to already come to an end back over toward Toronto and western ends of Lake Ontario, eastern Lake Erie, and so forth, as this weak weather system really is going to be pushing on out of the region. Another one will take its place on Wednesday. Looking at the total Kuchera snowfall, you can see that the amounts are pretty hefty, 4.1 inches and so forth, a little higher amounts up in the northern areas, as things kind of shifted, it looks like a little bit further to the north. But if you look at the snow totals of the 10-to-1 ratios, you can see that it's far less. So it's probably somewhere in between these two values right here. Probably take a little bit off of what you're seeing there. But some decent snowfall here now, it looks like in the eastern slopes of the Green Mountains, and carries over into north central Vermont as well as the Northeast Kingdom. And this is the snowfall of today through 090, 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And this is valid about 10 o'clock this morning. You can see this storm system working across the northeast U.S. with its multi-flavors. And then the heavier snows begin to work on out. This is valid about 03Z or about 10 o'clock this evening. And lighter snowfall to continue off and on overnight. Here's our next weather system. Now, it doesn't look like much. It'll be moisture starved, but it's actually relatively potent in terms of the upper levels. And the coldest temperatures here signified by this, the temperature isotherms. You can see that the gradient here, the coldest temperatures are going to be swinging in here. And this has a tendency to produce snow squalls and a little bit of a blustering wind as we develop that. It looks like late in the day on Wednesday. That continues into Wednesday night. Gradient winds with this, however, look like they're below thresholds or maybe touch thresholds in some of our Green Mountain spine, but there'll be a lot of blowing and drifting with localized heavier snow squalls and these snow bands aided by some of the lakes. So upstream, those lakes are open for business and will continue to produce snow squalls. Then that works its way out. High pressure begins to build in on Thursday, and that sets up 3 days of pretty fine weather. 1044 hectopascal area of higher pressure you can see just south and east of James Bay across Ontario and Quebec. That pushes in, and that's going to hang around for a while. You can see the storm tracks here. Now we're getting into Monday of next week, so we have 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of good project weather, decent solar, as well as no issues for travel. And that may linger even into Christmas Eve. This is valid about 7 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, pre-Christmas Eve. There's Christmas Eve, and then we get into maybe the next weather system arriving somewhere along about Christmas Day afternoon with a little bit of snow, potentially some mixed precipitation. That's way down, out, and around the corner. Okay, we'll take you through the motions here. This is the GFS ensemble. This is our today's snowfall, the biggest we're going to see in the next several days. You can see a nice stretch of dry weather. That's that basically Thursday afternoon into Sunday. The GFS ensemble is indicating something that might develop ahead of that. European does not have that, so it could be an extended period or maybe not. Taking a look at the total QPF, you can see that we're not looking at a tremendous amount. We're talking 0.3 to 0.4 total, and that's for the next 7+ days. So not a whole lot to show there. Now, in terms of what is the precipitation type, it's all snow, so there's no real issues there. And the reason for that is because temperatures are basically aloft are going to remain very cold. And the 850 hectopascal temperature is below the 0 degree isotherm seen here. That means all snow, no real issues. Precipitable water, the PWATS, it starts out high. That's the current storm. never really retains that. So this is pretty limited here. We're looking at generally very dry conditions overall. And then one last thing, looking at total snowfall amount here. And you can see we're generally going to be running around 3 inches with a little additional snow during the afternoon and evening as we get into Wednesday. And then a nice dry period here and before a little bit more snow accrues around the corner. QPF pattern for the next 7 days by the Weather Prediction Center. A lot of storminess in basically Northern California, coastal areas in the Pacific Northwest, nothing unusual there, into some parts of the Canadian Rockies. And then in the East Coast, mainly southeast United States, and then off the coast, really dry in between, and that's associated with a big area of higher pressure. Going over some of the numbers or some of the looks here, you can see that really the cold spots, a couple isolated spots in sort of parts of Siberia. It's really North America that is the cold spot, and it's up in the Baffin Island region and then down into portions of Canada. And Europe is well above normal. A lot of places are. So for the next 5 days, the maximum temperatures, according to the meteorological output statistics, show that temperature is going to be warmest and kind of a Chinook look here. That is, downsloping off the Rockies will warm things up adiabatically. So we're looking at temperatures running about 3 to 6 degrees below normal across Vermont. This is valid for the next 5 days of maximum temperatures. 3 days later, still pretty warm in the nation, and that it shows exactly what's taking place here, as we're going to see pre-holiday season, not a whole lot of snow. Near neutral in the northeast United States, a little bit colder than that in some parts of the west. Daily snow extent, the daily snow extent looks like this, and for the northern hemisphere as a whole, except nope, this is North America. Well, we'll take North America here. We're running actually a little bit above normal in terms of what we should be. The interesting thing is you take not North America, but the northern hemisphere as a whole, and we really dipped down and lost a little bit here. And the real reason for that is in Eurasia. And you can see what Eurasia looks like here. It's actually below normal by a little bit. And part of the reason for that is just how warm it is. Look at northwest Africa, and then well above normal in terms of temperatures here for the climate reanalyzer. These are the current readings across a good portion of Europe into Eurasia. That's it from here, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.